Elizabeth Stuart Phelps possessed very strong opinions on women and the cult of true womanhood. She felt very strongly that women could not have both a career and a family, and they must ultimately choose between the two institutions. Influences for Phelps' opinions on women and the cult of true womanhood came primarily from her own life and the life of her mother, Elizabeth Wooster Stuart Phelps. Elizabeth Stuart Phelps utilized the character of Avis in the story of Avis as a vessel to illustrate her own opinions on the cult of true womanhood. Because Phelps's influences stem from her own life, the lives of Phelps and Avis are paralleled in a number of ways. Phelps's father, Reverend Austin Phelps, was a conservative and traditional man. The interactions of Avis's father and Ostrander with Avis stemmed from Reverend Austin's relationship and interactions with both Phelps and her mother. After expressing her desire to attend art school, Professor Dobell lashes out at Avis, saying, "Nonsense, nonsense! I can't have you filling your head with any of these womanish apings of a man's affair, like a monkey playing tunes on a hand organ." Normally he is very gentle with his little girl, but his strongly ingrained traditional values of marriage and domesticity evoke a violent response to Avis wanting to do something against the cult of true womanhood. Phelps is showing that even a father's love for a child can't overcome societal pressures. Elizabeth Stuart Phelps's mother was also a writer. She wrote when she was young but stopped prior to getting married. After marriage she wrote books primarily for her children. A few of her later books were published prior to her death, but the majority were published posthumously. She wrote under the pseudonym H. Trusta. Curious about her mother's career and talent, Phelps probably held a conversation with Reverend Austin similar to the one Avis has with her father. Professor Dobell describes his wife as unquestionably talented. She has beyond doubt a histrionic gift. Under proper conditions she might have become famous, the proper conditions being she not marry. Because of the societal expectations, it was a simple fact that a woman give up any prospect of her own career when she gets married. This even happened to Phelps herself. In 1888, 11 years after the story of Avis was published, Elizabeth Stuart Phelps married Herbert Dickinson Ward. After marriage, Phelps's only major works were co-authored with her husband. Even though Phelps only knew her mother until the age of 8, she was very close to her mother. Phelps changed her baptismal name of Mary Gray to her mother's name because of how much she admired her mother. The elder Elizabeth Stuart Phelps grew sick after her schooling. Her daughter attributed this onset of illness to a cessation of stimulation. Essentially, Phelps blamed the illness on a dull lifestyle of domestic woman, giving some truth to the saying bored to death. The death of Elizabeth Stuart Phelps's mother was very similar to that of Mrs. Dobell in the novel. It was described that her mother had been ailing ill. None knew exactly why. It was quite certain that she had no disease. Only the waxing and waning and wasting of fine, feverish excitement. What Phelps is trying to say is that women, especially those creative in nature, need to express themselves and pursue their own passions in order to find purpose in life. If women aren't able to do this, it will literally kill them. The somewhat obvious solution would be for women to pursue their passions. However, Phelps knew that attempting to pursue a career while married was futile, and would only end in the failure of both endeavors. Elizabeth Stuart Phelps described in her father's memoir, a wife, a mother, a housekeeper, a hostess, in delicate health, on an academic salary, undertakes a deadly load when she starts upon a literary career. She lifted it to her frail shoulders and fell beneath it. Phelps is saying that her mother was not physically able to follow the societal expectations of a wife and pursue a career of her own, and this led to the ultimate message in the story of Avis. Success for a woman means absolute surrender, in whatever direction. Whether she paints a picture or loves a man, there is no division of labor possible in her economy. To the attainment of any end worth living for, a symmetrical sacrifice of her nature is compulsory upon her. That is, even though it is in every nature of a woman to have both marriage and a career, she must sacrifice one completely in order to find success. Elizabeth Stuart Phelps was one of many influential feminist icons of the 19th century. Her novel The Story of Avis challenges the traditional marriage roles in a way that is still relevant today.